The Uganda we want. So mu Uganda gye twagala mu lutalo luno olw'okulwanyisa obulabbayo obukenuzi nze kyempita obuvundu. Munna Uganda alina okuba nga yeenyigiramu.
Ffenna twenyigire mu lutalo.
Ate abalala tebasomye kuzimba wabula bayize okuzimba.
Uganda gye twagala okulaba ng'enguudo zonna nkole nungi, public transport nga weeri.
Kati eno gavumenti eriwo erina akabonero ka Lucifer. Buli kyotunulako mu Uganda kiriko oxygen. Either babika amawulire malungi oba mawulire mabi. Minisita teyeetaagisa kabangali budde buno zaaki.
At this time, why should somebody import furniture from outside Uganda? Let us leave NRM to be in charge for another 36 years or more.
I really want to see a Uganda that believes in the rule of law. If you have a constitution in place, follow it to the letter. Don't change laws just because you want them to favor you.
Kuba njagala omanye nti obugagga bwonna Uganda bwe yeeyagaliramu buyita waffe ku ttaka lyaffe. Naye busoga mugidibaze.
How can a referral hospital refer you to a private clinic? The Uganda we want buli muntu ateekwa okumanya nti I am a stakeholder, nkwatibwako si kwesuulirayo gwa naggamba.
Uganda oyinza okukakana nga mwe mulina bagraduates aba university nga bangi okusinga ebungereza. Mwe mufokasinga nnyo ku degree. Eri bo bafokasinga nnyo nti byensomye mbijeemu omulimu n'enkola.
We are dreaming of a Uganda where at a young age there is such a relationship between parent and son, parent and daughter, where the daughter can say this is what I want.
Uganda gye twagala empya tesobola kubeerawo nga tewali mateeka. Amateeka agakola.
The Uganda we want. Welcome to the program, The Uganda We Want. My name is Mulanzi. Thank you so much for following us and viewing us on Dream TV, BTV, and listening to us on Impact FM. We are so honored to have you watching us and as well following the views of people that we host here who share their perspective on the kind of Uganda that they envision. And actually, when they come to us here, they don't just speak about the Uganda they want to see, but they give us guidelines and solutions on how we can achieve that kind of Uganda. I want to encourage you to continue following us on our social media platforms. Please, you can go and subscribe, you can share, you can comment. Yeah, you can join the conversation on X, Dream TV Uganda, BTV National Uganda, The Uganda We Want, and also on YouTube. You can subscribe on our YouTube channel, The Uganda We Want, and as well, Dream TV Uganda, BTV National Uganda, and Impact FM, and as well on other social media platforms. Please do go there and subscribe and tell your friends that, hey, here are some views of people that want to, that want a change in our country. Today, we are hosting Dr. Sarah Birete. She's the Executive Director for Center for Constitutional Governance, CCG. She's with us. And Doctor, I'm so honored to have you today on the show. Could you please greet our viewers, our listeners, and tell us a little bit more about your work?
I greet you all, viewers and listeners of this program, The Uganda We Want. It's really a program with a good title, and we should all engage in a conversation to be able to realize the Uganda we want, the conversation and the work that it requires, because it's a lot of work. I am a constitutional lawyer, and I am a co-founder and the executive director of the Center for Constitutional Governance. I also have other responsibilities outside the Center for Constitutional Governance regarding elections. I'm the chairperson of the Eastern Africa Election Observers Network, EHON, the vice chairperson of the Africa Elections Observer Network, AFIONET, and the global chairperson of the Global Network for Election Monitors, GENDEM. So I have responsibilities in the region. I have responsibilities in Africa. I have responsibilities globally regarding the work of domestic election monitors or civil society organizations that engage in the observation and other related work to do with the monitoring of elections and promoting the integrity of elections globally.
Well, did you go to school? Where did you go to school? Yeah,
I've gone to several schools, several really, and I think we should really waste time on that. I have gone to several schools, but the school that gave me the biggest foundation was the school I spent 6 years at, and that's the Birete Girls School, one of the best girls' schools in Western Uganda. It really shaped us, and I like its motto, you reap what you sow.
Oh, you reap what you sow, yes. It's a good one.
I'm also involved in education work regarding parents in schools, because now I'm a parent, some beyond talking about schools.
Yeah.
So I do some work regarding the quality of education, the welfare, discipline of students, and performance in schools where my children happen to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, it's interesting to hear your background, and we are speaking to the right person, and I hope people who are viewing us are going to benefit from what you have to say when it comes to the Uganda that you want to see. And it's actually, that's why you're here, that's why we are here. I want to hear from you, Doctor.
Yes, maybe to add another place that shaped me.
Okay.
I did my law course at the Islamic University in Uganda. I liked the rector, the founding rector of the Islamic University in Uganda. He used to have a slogan that that university cannot produce educated fools. So you can imagine the combination to say that somebody is educated, but is also a fool. So he used to tell us that university is not a place for educated fools. You must add value.
You must add, you must impact the world.
Yes.
If I can add on something from the wife of Dr. Ezra Sruma, I've ever hosted her, Speciosa Sruma, and she said that she has a secondary school called Everlight College in Bunga, and she said, we are not here to educate clever devils.
That's very important. And that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem we are struggling with in Uganda. We have a lot of the elite class has conspired. The elite class in politics has conspired against Uganda and against the people of Uganda.
They are clever
That's
devils.
The problem, of course.
They are clever fools.
No, clever devils.
Clever devils. Wow. Doctor, I mean, personally, I've been following you. I started with Ambassador Jagenda Semakula. Actually, for a long time, he's my media mentor. For a long time, he wanted me to have you on this program, the Uganda We Want. And of course, we can't decide. It is God who decides for us. We plan, and God decides. Now, here we are. This is God's time for me to have you. But following you, hearing you, what you always say, what you always comment on the work that you want us to do as a country, to say that we live in a better country. I have one question that has been haunting me. As Dr. Sarah Birete, what is Uganda's real problem? And is there any solution to it if it is there?
Leadership. Uganda's problem is the leadership. Africa's problem is the leadership. For more than 6 decades of independence, we are yet, some countries in Africa, let me start from the bigger picture. Some countries in Africa have managed to break the chain of poverty, ignorance, and disease. When we were growing up, the independence leaders, not that I was there at independence, I wasn't, but they used to say that they must fight ignorance, poverty, and disease. But after more than 60 years of independence, Africa is suffering from the same problems because clever devils have hijacked the leadership and used the space for their own selfish needs. So whereas the African leaders fought colonialists, the people who came in beyond the founding fathers, most of the founding fathers were genuinely working for the people. If you look at the Common Man's Charter for Uganda, that Singapore picked and polished and implemented and they moved from third world to first world, it was really wonderful, a wonderful package. But when you look at the second, third, fourth generation of post-independence leaders, most of them were just clever devils. So the countries that have broken the chain are Botswana, leadership, Namibia, leadership, Ghana. After turbulence of about 2 decades, they managed to recorrect themselves and they've moved forward. So, but the rest of the countries, it's just a clever fool who can manipulate the process, fraudulent elections, which clever fools manipulate, mafias, I don't know what name you can call it, take over leadership, and 80% of the work they do cannot benefit the people. Cannot.
They're looking at themselves.
Their families, their friends, they are not working for the people. They are working for themselves. Yeah.
If you can dig deeper and shed a clear and a practical picture to Ugandans, what did those countries do that probably we can as well do to make sure that we have a change?
I will share with the history of Ghana. You know, Uganda and Ghana share the common history of coups, military coups. So Ghana faced turbulence, including the overthrow. Nkrumah was overthrown twice, President Nkrumah. Of course, partly engineered by the colonialists who never wanted to leave, but also colonialists conniving with selfish leaders to get rid of the good leaders that would have developed Africa. Like the colonialists were fighting Nkrumah's agenda of Africa must unite, of seeking first the political kingdom, then the rest shall be added unto you, meaning that the politics must solve the social, educational, health, and other needs of the people. Because you are in charge of decision making, you are in charge of utilization of resources, and you collect taxes from the people. You are also in charge of development of your countries using the natural given richness, the mineral resource that we are seated on as a continent. For the DRC, you saw the people that connived with Mobutu to kill Patrice Lumumba, and the DRC has never been the same. So those are the clever devils that have hijacked the leadership in Africa. Ghana went through a cycle of coups after Nkrumah, and stabilization came in when the Jerry Rawlings, now deceased, took power also through a coup as a young lieutenant, 27 years old. He overthrew the junta that was there, took power for 2 years, and thought that he would hand over power to the people, to the civilian leadership. It stepped down, but warned the people who took after him and said, if you don't restore democracy, I am going to come back because I'm watching. And indeed he was watching, and after a few years, 1 or 2, he came back and ruled that country for 20 years. I think 10 years before restoration of term limits.
And
then he restored term limits and ruled and did not tamper with the constitution. Restored constitutional order in Ghana to enable every leader to rule for a maximum of 10 years. And then you hand over power. You enable the country to breathe. So Uganda, on the other hand, shares the same history of political turbulence. After the overthrow of Obote, Idi Amin, you can talk of Rutwa, you can talk of, that cycle of coups. Other than the time when Dr. Bote received the instruments of independence, And the time when we had a transitional government of 3 presidents, including one Nyamchoncho, in the transition of 1980 elections after the coup. Those are the only temporary situations that Ugandans have seen a president freely handing over power to another. So after going through that, and what most Ugandans thought was a rebirth of a nation, that is the so-called the NRM revolution. Many Ugandans embraced it as a rebirth. If you look at the spirit of the 1995 constitution, Dr. Matemba and others, and now Professor Kanyamba has left us, and Rhoda Karima, who will be laid to rest on Saturday, tomorrow. The spirit of the 1995 constitutional making process was never again shall Uganda have a leader who cannot leave power peacefully. Never again shall Uganda be faced with a situation where the army hijacks the power of the people. Never again shall Uganda be faced with a pandemic of corruption. But where are we now? All those 3 things are back with us. 40 years down the road, I don't think President Museveni, even after ruling for 40 years and is still seeking re-election, I don't think he plans to ever hand over power. And now what we shall see in the elections is the army hijacking the sovereignty of the people through violence. We've had a precursor of what the 1995 elections are going to be. Full military violence. Kawempe elections.
Yeah, served as an example to
the media corroborated, election observers corroborated, election officials corroborated, and for the first time in Uganda's history, a Mamba has over 100 guns ready to fire on that vehicle. A Mamba drove through a polling station, hijacking the sovereignty of the people using military force. That is what President Museveni is presiding over at the moment. And that's the crisis of Uganda.
And all that comes down to poor leadership.
So to drive my point to the Uganda we want, I will compare with 2 countries, Singapore and Dubai. Many Ugandans have visited Dubai and they know what's happening in Dubai, and that's why I want to refer to it.
Yeah, and they come back here and they tell us how good it is.
Yes.
They are proud to actually talk about Dubai, then Uganda or Singapore, than their country.
In
Uganda.
The 1970s, Uganda was far better than Dubai, to the extent that Idi Amin sent a donation to Dubai using Moses Ali as a Minister of Finance to deliver that donation.
Yeah, he's one of the prime ministers now.
Currently. As he struggles also to speak and seek
re-election. He's coming back as the MP for Adjumani.
Yes, I know. He's a flag bearer of NRM 86. He's a part of the demonstration of our crisis, because I think officially he's just 4 years older than Museveni. So they are the same generation. If you say 80 to 90, you have
in the same bracket.
Museveni and the General Moses Ali and Matia Kasaija and so many others. So, and if you borrow the words of Mo Ibrahim, he says that Africa's leadership is dominated by old people, that where can they lead Africa to? They can only lead it to the grave. That is a quote from Mo Ibrahim. Yes.
So the essence of it is, when you're old, you cannot lead me somewhere else except the grave.
But where are you going at your age? What is your vision? You are checking every day, doctor, check this nerve, check that nerve. Am I still breathing? So what leadership can you offer to your country?
Yeah, he looked at dominance. Anyway, so General Moses Ali was one of the guys that who delivered
the donation to Dubai.
Wow.
So when you look at Dubai, most of the developments have been done in 50 years after discovery of oil. And when they explored oil, they have the indigenous people are about less than 200,000. The last time I was there, I was told it's about 160 people. The leadership is a monarch, because we have a dual system in Uganda, which is a hybrid of kingdoms, of decentralization. We are supposed to have regional governments in our constitution that have never been operationalized. So we have a hybrid of democracy. And when even people condemn democracy as a problem, they forget that this democracy has been customized to the country's needs, including Uganda, which has a bit of devolution, a bit of monarchism, but also a multi-party dispensation. There is no other country that you find this mix. So Dubai is led by a king or whatever, the sultan or whatever they call them, and it's a monarchy arrangement. But the development, they utilize the resources of the country for the benefit of the people. The indigenous people have very fantastic flats in the area they stay in. They don't pay for water, they don't pay for power, and they receive allowances.
In Dubai?
Yes, they are paid. The indigenous citizens of Dubai. Free housing, free water, free electricity, and you are paid for your other necessities. And it's a free country using low taxation and freedom to invest, to attract investors. Everybody else is investing in Dubai. So on top of their oil revenue, they have everybody else taking their money to their country. When you go to Singapore...
And many of our girls from here, because you're a woman, and I know you're concerned about that issue of
the trafficking, because of young people. We are
floating over.
We are engaged in a modern day era enslavement of the youth, which is real unfortunate. So when you look at Singapore now, yes. Singapore developed on 4 principles. When it broke off from Malaysia, many people thought Singapore was condemned and they would just crash. But the leadership that pioneered that move established a system that propelled Singapore from third. There's that big volume of a book From Third World to First World by Lincoln. So when you look at that, 4 principles. 1 is meritocracy. Promoting merit in leadership. In our situation here, we have dynasties. It's family dynasty.
Yeah, whether I qualify or not, from the family, I have the job.
Yes, like the situation of control of the army by one family in our country, it's not on merit. If you look at a situation where if a father steps down, or the father and the son are running, we have top NRM generals and other military men, where you find that 2-3 members of the family are now flag bearers in NRM. You have a situation where if an MP dies, the people think
the daughter or the son.
Or the son or the wife must take over. Very unfortunate trends in our country.
Yeah, I saw something, I think in Luka or Kamuli, that I think, was it an MP there? She died in an accident. And now they are saying, let's bring the sister.
Yes,
let's bring her
it's
sister.
the common trend. So the first principle is meritocracy. The second principle is rule of law. Rule of law.
Doctor, what's the difference between rule of law and rule by law?
So rule of law...
As a constitutional lawyer, help us.
Yes. Rule of law is a situation where there are principles like equality before the law and uniform application of the law. So if the law says don't pass here, you don't create exceptions for to look at me.
Oh, there's too much traffic there, and
like
it was
now
okay.
in this country, when security enforcers open your car and say this is a Mnyangore, and they don't want trouble. Especially junior, I feel sorry for our policemen who don't come from Western Uganda, sometimes they don't know who they are dealing with. They fear annoying the powers that be. And being a Mnyankore, I know what I'm talking about. That sometimes they check and say, these are the people. So we have people where a tribe gives you some leverage
to
break the law. Because if I question a Mnyankore, what if she's a wife of an important man? Will I retain my job? What if she's a child or he is a child of of my boss? Will I retain my job? So they don't want problems. And you understand that in a situation where there is no rule of law, by the time you defend yourself, it's like the saying that if you see people running to demonstrate a situation where rule of law does not work, is that if you see people running, you just run. Because without asking,
where are they running?
Say, by the way, why are we running? Say, they were arresting goats. But for you, you are an elephant. Why are you running? They say, by the time you prove that you are not a goat, it will be after 20 years. That is the situation of rule of law in this country. Rule by law, on the other hand, is to say that I determine what I want to do. Then I create a law to enable me do what I want to do. And the best demonstration in this case is the UPDF Amendment Act. President Museveni wants power to try politicians in the military court. Even after reversal by Supreme Court, he had to reenact the same provisions using different English words. And Parliament, you people in the media, you know better. By the time they woke up, first of all, the law was passed in a very short time. Whereas the parliamentary rules give the committees of parliament 45 days to consult on any proposed law. The clerk of parliament released the memo that for any members of the public who want to share views on the UPDF Amendment Act, they had only from 9 to 5 p.m. to share a written memorandum.
Something like 5 or 6 hours.
To analyze a proposed law and give a written memorandum properly requires a minimum of 2 weeks. Because you must have comparisons with other countries. You must have references of national, regional, and international laws, etc. It's proper analytical process. They wanted it done in a few hours. Even when it was done, because we submitted the memorandum, we were never invited to appear before the committee. We were ignored as members of the public. So then the day of debate, Parliament is under siege. Of course, the distribution of money, the 100 million. And when the MPs, when the MPs were debating to produce a report in Munyonyo, information leaked that many of the NRM MPs wanted to reject provisions regarding trial of civilians in the military courts. And then the caucus was summoned in Entebbe. In that caucus, apparently the boss just looked at them and said, you know what I want? You either deliver that
or not,
or you will deal with me. So that is ruled by law. Give me a law to enable me do what I want to do. That law violates the provisions of the Constitution. It violates the Supreme Court ruling, but it's the law that the regime must have because that's what they want to do. So now they are going to defend the actions who are premeditated, saying after all it is the law. So that's ruled by law.
You said something, Doctor, and someone who is ruling by law, he says, do this. If you don't do it, you deal with me. That's already intimidation.
Of course, give me the law to enable me do what I want to do, including breaking the Constitution. So that's ruled by law. By the time we challenge that law again, it might take 3 to 5 years or more. Because again, the Constitution It is the issue of an elephant running when they are chasing goats. By the time you prove that you are not a goat,
30 years.
it will be already 20 years in prison. So that is also the challenge, the speed at which the wheels of justice are moving in the country. Very slow.
Yeah, and I think it's very clear. Yeah, so that's the second principle that Singapore put in place.
Yes,
Rule.
the third one was a low taxation, a favorable investment climate. So Singapore, being nearing water bodies, created had a port, but also created a low taxation environment to enable investors be attracted. The same issue with Dubai that I had mentioned. To enable, create a favorable investment climate where the rule of law is working. If your business, you need legal redress, it's delivered without corruption. There is meritocracy. The people serving you, they are qualified and they are suitable and they are not looking for kickbacks. But also, you can invest your money and your money is safe through rule of law. Because the rule of law creates certainty for the businessman. It reduces the political risks of the money belonging to the private sector. So that was the third principle. The fourth principle was creating social harmony. Provide quality and accessible health, education, roads for everybody.
Not for a few or a class of people.
So if I juxtapose that to the situation in Uganda, to afford now quality health or education, you pay through the nose, and it's for a few, the clever elite or the clever devils. Yeah, okay.
So health is for the clever devils now.
Whereas me and you and everybody else, we struggle. You need to run to money lenders if your person falls sick. You need to run and even do a fundraising. Harambe, this person needs this service. Can we contribute money? Can we wash cars? Can we to afford health care that the government cannot deliver? We have seen several informations in Mulago. The last demonstration was by Justice Muriagonja when she said Mulago
I was
is a death
scared.
trap.
I got scared. I'm like, no, what about me?
You can imagine a judge speaking about the most senior advocate as a husband about the challenge to access quality health care. I think that drives my point home.
Indeed, absolutely.
And Singapore, on the other hand, so what they call social harmony was to remove these struggles for the ordinary people. So everybody can access quality health care. Everybody can access quality education. We know that most of our elite political class send their children to Turi, the most expensive school in Nairobi, where they pay about $30,000 per semester or per term. Money that can educate a sub-county or children in a sub-county in Uganda. It's paid in one single term by the people in leadership in this country. Do you expect such people to fix schools for the ordinary people? No, they cannot.
They can't.
So we need a leadership that can put a role that for you to serve in my government, all your children are going to study in public schools. If you don't want that, then you are not qualified to be in my government. That's when government will fix schools for all the children of Uganda.
If that is not done,
it cannot happen. So to get to the Uganda we want, now that I've shared the principles and examples, one, we need to fix the leadership. It is broken. Fellow citizens watching this program, listening to me, our leadership is broken beyond repair. We need a total overhaul of the people in leadership. If you need to bribe MPs in order to pass a law, what kind of leader are you for the country? And you are using taxpayers' money to bribe people who are already paid exorbitantly, using taxpayers' money, and you are bribing them to do the work that they are paid to do. What kind of leader are you? So you get one MP, you bribe them with 100 million to get your law for your rule by law, and then you start scattering another chunk of taxpayers' money that you are going to every parish
to investigate what 100 million have done. After throwing 100 million at an individual, you are wasting more money to investigate what 100 million have done to all the people in the parish. Even as citizens, we are not serious. So apart from fixing the leadership, even as citizens are broken. Because to allow this...
We also need to be fixed.
Really, to allow these ongoings, abuses, extremes to go on, we are also broken. We should have pushed back if we were not broken. So we needed to reconstruct citizenship in this country, to give returned power to the people, to educate people about their duties as envisaged in the Constitution, to educate people,
civic education,
about what is expected of leadership, and if they don't do that, then they must leave. They have no business staying in leadership. So fix leadership, reconstruct the people, but also borrow. We don't need to think. Borrow from Singapore, Ghana, and Dubai, re-establish term limits so that every leader can rule for a maximum of 10 years.
And you're gone. Let someone else come in.
Put age limit. The people who need to be in elderly homes and with no... It's not that really this is person about General Moses Ari, but he is not. The mental capacity to be in leadership does not exist in that body, 86-year-old body. It does not. Even to reconstruct the speech pattern is disrupted. River on the other body things. So if the speech pattern is disrupted, speech pattern is disrupted by a slow mind. So the mental capacity does not exist in that
doesn't
body.
His brother see, his brother Minnie Museveni, doesn't he see that he's really not capable?
But an aged president who does not want to retire, he wants the likes of Moses Ari to escort him. So that if you are saying I'm too old, he will say about Moses Ari.
Okay. It's a strategy. Okay.
Yes.
It's a brother-old strategy.
They are escorting each other. So we need to put age limits for office. It's more important now than ever. We need to put term limits. We need to cut the size of parliament. The money we are wasting on parliament, and the bigger that parliament has become, the more useless it has turned out.
No, say that again for me, Doctor.
Citizens. The bigger that parliament has become, the more useless it has turned out to be for the citizens. Today, the parliament today is of no relevance to the lives of the ordinary people. The parliament today adds no value. It is of zero value to Ugandans today.
They are here.
So we need
Doctor.
to cut, we need to cut the size of parliament. Make sure every district has 2 MPs, 1 male, 1 female, for gender equality. Cut out all the special interest groups. All. Maybe we can even persons with disability. The rest should be cut out.
Yeah.
The youth
use their fight.
are the majority voters. More than 10 million voters on our payroll are young people. If they cannot raise the leadership and vote for themselves as a generation, we have no business creating those youth seats.
Yeah.
So they fall
5 seats
under, they are
actually.
either male or female. They should fall there. We need to go to the
They are workers.
UPDF.
UPDF, they are 10.
UPDF is a
10.
member of the executive. An executive arm cannot qualify as a special interest group. They are represented by the minister in parliament. They have not 1 minister but 2.
2, yeah.
The 2 ministers of defense represent the ideas of the UPDF. An arm of the executive cannot be thrown into a parliament under the guise of a special interest group. We need to end that, abuse. By character, the UPDF is described as non-partisan. You pick it and keep it in a partisan arena. That's also another demonstration of rule by law.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. They sit with the ruling party. It's no wonder that when you are in Kawempe, they are beating opposition because they are acting as a military wing of the ruling party. They are not acting as a national army.
They are now a military
And
wing.
are they allowed to talk in parliament? Or
If you are an MP, you are free to talk.
no, I mean the UPDF people, the special
Yes.
interest. Okay.
Because they are an MP. Once they are there, they are as any other MP. So they need to get out. That's why I'm saying that we need to abolish all those special interest
Then
groups.
you have the workers. They are also.
Aren't you a worker? I am a worker. What is the difference with eyes workers, those who are in unions and those who are not in unions?
Yeah.
We are all workers. If you need to know the amount, the number of workers, go to the census report. We are all workers in this country. So there is no need for workers MPs. It's no wonder that they can't even deliver the issues regarding teachers and other people. They are inconsequential in that house. So we need to abolish those special interest groups, except for persons with disability.
Yeah.
Because it would take so much for a person moving in a wheelchair to compete with others who are running around and the rest of the challenges that they face by virtue of being differently enabled in their bodies. So we can only save those. The elderly. If you have Moses Ali at 86 running for an open seat, is there an elder MP who is older than Moses Ali?
Wow.
It's crap.
Yeah.
Those seats and cut down the size of parliament to make it efficient, but also to save the wastage of taxpayers' money in that house.
Yeah, a lot of money is being, bumped into those guys. Doctor, let's keep it right here for the first episode.
Okay.
And you're talking about fixing. I heard that word fixing. When we return, I would really request you to help us, show us the how. How can we fix this? You've talked about leadership. Of course, you have talked about the corruption, the violation of human rights, the election. How can we fix all this? When we return the second episode with Dr. Sarah Birete, she will be continuing to share with us the kind of Uganda that she envisions. That for now we say bye-bye.